Hello, 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 hello. If there's anybody out there, just click hashtag live below. I'm here today with Sonal Sinha because it's a very special day today for me and for her. And it's a special day because it's a first for me and it's a first for her as well. And it's completely a testament to Sonal's own initiative. So I have a training course called EFT, and then you can go on to become an EFT facilitator, which is group work, which Sonal is. And she has these beautiful reels. What's your IG and what's your handle?
It's Sonal S. Sinha, Sinha.
Sonal S. Sinha, and where she does tapping sequences, she does beautiful wisdom about working with children and what to do if you're a parent. And so Sonal was already facilitating EFT, and she runs a program called Peaceful Parenting, which is like a 12-week program for parents of special needs children. And of course, parents without special needs children also end up attending because the wisdom is so pure, where she kind of takes them on a journey of how to tap into the peace within themselves, even in the heart of chaos, because she's aware that if the parent is dysregulated and not feeling at peace, well, the child is going to play up and they're going to demonstrate their anxiety at a much higher level. And so she was facilitating little workshops for the parents that were coming to her. And she had come across a technique called picture tapping in EFD Advanced. And she said, "Oh, I'd like to be a picture tapping facilitator. Can I?" I said, "Sure, make a video of you facilitating it and share it with me." And she took the initiative herself because it's not in our normal curriculum. And I just said, "Okay, sure, why don't you make a video, share it?" And she did. She made a video. How many people did you get together?
I think there were some seven people.
Seven people, seven
Yeah,
mums together. Yeah,
yeah.
seven mums. And then, she got pieces of paper and they had felt tips and crayons. It was online. You can do it face to face as well. And then she asked them to draw, whatever was going on for them, a feeling. Sometimes I ask people to draw like, how you're not feeling good enough. Once I was working with someone who found it really hard to say the word anxiety and that she was going through, and I asked her just to draw the anxiety. So it kind of depersonalizes the emotion feeling really strong in one's face. And she just ran a very organic and flowing session. And people had their own realizations, their own interpretations. And actually, Sonal Asina has been certified in this area for a long time. It's just taken us a while to finally get on here and announce it and share it with all of you. So, Sonal, I love your own initiative, your proactiveness, your willingness to help your audience, and just going for it. Many, many, many congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much. I am feeling great. I mean, the kind of skills that I've learned with you, it's amazing. And especially with the background that I had of a computer engineer,
Mm,
to jump into something like this, I was like, I don't know, I might just take ages or I don't know how many years
mm,
to learn all of this.
mm.
But because of your training, the way you've taught us the concepts, and it's amazing, the space that you've created. I love it. And with every certification, my confidence goes high, and I feel empowered, and more than, I mean, of course, we are doing this for a livelihood, but it gives a very deep sense of satisfaction when you see those changes, when people who really need help, when they
Yeah.
feel relaxed and when they feel a difference by the work that we're doing. So I feel
Yeah.
amazed.
That's true. It's so rewarding. And I could see that on the faces of the people that you were facilitating the workshop with. They were like, oh, like light bulbs were going off everywhere. And sometimes working metaphorically like this, using pictures can lead people into different spaces that they would not have explored on their own. Now, so now that you've got this, like, what are your plans? Like, what do you want to do with the certification? How do you want to share it with others?
So this is going to be very easy working with children because
Mm,
they don't know how to articulate their
mm,
emotions, right?
Mm,
For instance, I was working with another lady. She was an adult, and I was asking her questions. So the issue was very evident. But when I asked her questions and I reflected on, what the issue was going on, she was not able to connect with it.
mm,
She was like, this shouldn't be a problem. It's a good thing that this happened. So
mm,
then I asked her to draw. And
mm.
then she drew a lot of stars, like, flower kind of stars. And I asked her, "Okay, tell me about them." So she's like, this is my entire world, and I always become the center who's taking up the entire responsibility. So then it clicked, and then we tapped, and I did not have to ask questions further. Like, she was just drawing, we were tapping, and she herself came to an awareness that, okay, I need to choose myself first before trying to, help others. So yeah, I think this is also going to help mothers who I primarily work with, because they are actually loaded with so much, so many things that you cannot. Sometimes it's difficult to, pinpoint that what exactly is going on. So this simplifies at least the current situation, and then a lot of times, by drawing, you do reach the destination without probing much, and it's more softer, I believe, because you're not asking direct questions or uncomfortable questions.
Oh, you shared that so beautifully. You explained it so well that it's easy to follow you on this journey. Now, you are also going to be running soon your like EFT fast track. Tell us a little bit about that.
So EFT Fast Track is going to be 8 days EFT level 1, level 2 course. And so this is basically for self-help. If somebody wants to learn the technique, use it on themselves to help them, or use it for others as well. Like, they can use it, but in this course, they will not get certified. For that, they will have to go through another process, right? And yeah, so I'll be teaching them all the techniques that you've taught us, how to work on limiting beliefs, how to work on their emotions, how to identify memories which bother them, and how to, reduce the intensity of those memories. So yeah, for somebody who is using it for self-help, I think level 1, level 2 itself offloads so much. Uh, and it's going to be an interesting journey for me. I'm going to do this for the first time. I'm really excited. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's so powerful. Now people fall in two camps. One is they want to learn EFT to be professionally certified, or the second camp is they want some kind of EFT to help them on their self-help. So either they generally choose a therapist, because they want it confidential, they want it customized. Yet you chose learning in training and using it on yourself. So tell us a little
Mm.
bit about the benefit of actually learning the technique versus receiving therapy.
Yeah. So when I learned the technique, so I became a good practitioner because I kept working on myself. Okay, I was my best client, to be really frank. And initially, when I came to know about EFT, for about a year, I went to a therapist and I was taking sessions, professional sessions. But but there came a point when I was not able to, because of the circumstances at home, I was not able to go and, dedicate so many hours for therapy. So I thought, why not learn it for myself instead of, running here and there. But when I started learning, then I realized that a practitioner will only be able to uncover certain things and only be able to uncover, things that I'm able to communicate it to them. There were so
Mm,
many things that I processed on my own later on, which maybe I wouldn't have been able to say it, during the therapy session. So for me personally, see, it also happened like, I remember when we were getting certified, we used to do swap sessions we didn't have those dedicated personal, on personal piece 6 sessions. We could do swap sessions and submit those 6 sessions. So a lot of times there were other, fellow EFT practitioners in training with whom I did swap, and they were also learning. So a lot of times their questionings or their suggestions would trigger me. Like, I used to, I mean, because they were learning, right? So they were also developing their skills. So that used to really trigger me. And then because I knew the technique, I could sit and sort it out. And I
mm.
remembered one line clearly is that everything that sticks to you is your issue. So everything, like everything that bothered me, like if I'm getting irritated, even though, my irritation is genuine, the other person is wrong. I would still sit and explore that, okay, what in me is getting triggered? Why am I getting affected by their behavior? Even though I'm right, what in me is getting triggered? So that really helped me. Of course, I think, yeah, of course, the way you taught, and also, in a group setup where you're learning the technique, you see so many people, dealing with so many issues, and you sometimes are not aware of what is going on with you. And when you look at other people, then you're able to realize that, oh, even I'm stuck here. Or, oh, why am I not able to be like that? The other person is able to do it. Why am I not able to? And then, at least for me, it helped like that. I started exploring all those ways that, what is stopping me from, being that, or why, okay, I didn't know that I had this also. So let me explore that. So I think that's the difference if you go to a practitioner and when you learn the technique yourself, then, and yeah, if you're committed to yourself, you really want transformation, then learning for yourself makes a lot of sense.
So beautifully put. And what was the reason you were committed to yourself?
So I have twin children. One child is on the autism spectrum. So my life was quite set. But when autism happened, when twins happened, uh, a lot of chaos came in. And this was the first time. So chaos was always there. It's not that the chaos was not there inside my head. It was manageable. So this was the first time this chaos was not manageable, and nobody in my circle knew how to help me out. I was not at peace, and I just knew one thing that and I've seen the journey of parents who have special needs children. It's very difficult to come in acceptance, and it's very difficult to find happiness. No, a lot of times it's a very isolated journey. Like you're just by yourself because okay, I had the courage to stand up for myself, go find ways, etc. But a lot of time people don't know that they're dealing with the whole thing on their own, and yeah. So basically, I did not want to see myself as somebody who's really sad because she has a child like that, and I never saw my son as a limitation. I often repeat this. His name is Arth, which means meaning in Hindi. So he's given a lot of meaning to my life because when he came into picture, I started finding my ways. That I don't want to be this. I don't want to be this. If nothing else, I at least want to be happy with ease. I want to choose happiness with ease. Uh, Whatever the circumstances, at least I can be happy. And I had realized that I didn't know how to be happy. So he's taught me a lot by creating chaotic circumstances and leading me to find my own way. That's the reason I chose this. Yeah.
So wonderfully put. And it speaks to your humility as well and your willingness to grow. And you brought up a really important, concept, which is on the one hand, you felt you needed therapy because of the chaos that was happening in your life, and you received that therapy. But on the other hand, after, you experienced the therapy, you decided to learn it for yourself. And when you embarked on the journey of learning it for yourself, what you discovered was deeper layers that you didn't uncover during therapy.
Mm.
Um, and you started to kind of use it on yourself. Now, how did that change your life?
I became more assertive about my decisions. Um, I started, I became a lot more confident. So this was not easy for me. Like, when I did the facilitator, I remember I had huge stage fright. Like I would literally get blackouts before that. So, so it changed my life because, everywhere I knew, I mean, I would visualize myself that, I wish I could be that. So now I knew how I could be there. Like, I could identify what is stopping me and I could choose that. And I can't really pinpoint that how my life has changed, but I feel a lot more lighter. I'm able to, it was unimaginable for me to choose a career after my children happened, even though I'm a qualified computer engineer, because IT was out of question. We work like, 12 hours, 14 hours in the office. I don't think I could have done that at all, with both children. I wouldn't be able to give them justice, and even I wouldn't have been able to take it. But then I never could imagine that, I would choose this. I would, choose a lot of other things that I'm doing right now. So it has helped me to, step up always. A lot of things that I couldn't imagine, I'm doing it and I think it's possible. Like impossible, unimaginable, these things have shifted. In terms of even, chronic diseases, pain. So a lot of acceptance and awareness about myself. And that really helps in dealing with, chaotic situations, especially, with so many disagreements, with so many people around. Still, how to stay focused on what you want to do. And I think, I'm still learning, but my capacity to do things has increased. Like, I'm able to do a lot more than what I used to do or what I thought I could do. So, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And so when you embarked on the journey, were you looking for all those outcomes or were you looking for something else?
Was I looking for, when I started, I was just looking forward to being happy. And then every time I felt settled, then something else came up and triggered me. So then I started working on that. And then eventually, yeah, eventually. So I am not a kind of person who will plan like a 10-year ahead of me right now. I pretty much go with the flow. But things started happening automatically. And yeah, maybe, I had vague ideas in my head that I wish. And those things, like I finally came to a point where I think I can plan that, okay, if I want this, then how? If I really, like, I wanted to be a trainer. Okay. And I thought it would take like maybe 5, 10 years or something.
And
But then it just happened.
it
Yeah.
just happened. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. And
That means you've got great manifesting ability. I didn't know that until this moment because for me it was very organic as well, asking you to come and be a trainer. It just felt so spontaneous in the moment and it's what needed to happen.
yeah, I
Wow.
remember
There
you
was
just asked me
a
to,
you that
yeah.
wished it. Wow.
Yeah, I did. I was like, yeah, I wish I could be a trainer one day. That was my, so, but then I never thought how it would happen and stuff, I was like, let me see. So,
So
so yeah,
anyone
now,
watching this,
yeah.
that's the power of manifestation. It's the power of doing EFT tapping as well, where you're able to kind of clear the clutter of the mind, come into the moment, make your wish and prayer and intention, and just let it unfold. And whoever's watching this, if you have an intention for yourself, make it. And if you want Sonal Sinha to help you manifest that intention, then please put a me down in chat and get in touch with her because clearly she's found the secret juice and the magic to be able to do it and to do it in a way that felt easy and effortless versus efforting. Because I'm sure many on this call have felt manifestation to be a very kind of effortful process. And I think it's amazing what you've shared. And, people may not have the kind of awareness that you have about, wanting to explore your emotions to find your own inner happiness. People want to be happy on the whole, but they may not know how to be happy. And, sometimes people think buying clothes will make you happy, or taking drugs will make you happy, or having friends will make you happy. But you opted for the route that lasts the longest, and that is finding your own happiness within you. So very, very, very well done, Sonal. Many, many, many congratulations. Now, what are your plans with parenting? Because you've got some things coming up, haven't you, for kids and for parents? Tell us a bit more about that.
So yeah, so I do peaceful parenting. It's a free masterclass. And then I invite parents for uh, individual sessions or group programs. Um, so that's ongoing. That happens every month. And with children this summer, and I plan to do that also. First time I'm coming up with a program for kids. Like, so there are three batches. One is 4 to 7. The other one is 8 to 10, and then actually four, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and 10 to 13, and 14 to 16. So as I got the request, I curated those programs and I've just launched it in May. I'm going to start it in May and it's going to be live in person. So I'm in Mumbai and because children, would
You need the
like
interactivity.
it.
Online is
Yes,
too dull for them. And I think also for
exactly.
adults, it's nice to also do live in person. I hope you do EFT Fast Track live in person one day as well, because I think it's
I
worth
hope
doing
so.
it live in person. And because there's a different magic, isn't there? Having a person, and you learnt it live in person from memory, yeah?
Yes, yes.
There's a different magic, having someone physically there in front of you. And, it's so, the dimensions are so different in terms of the shares and the experiences, and it's really really different. So how do people get in touch with you to send their kids on this? Parents in Mumbai, there's probably a few out there, they're like, oh, take my kids for the summer, please get them off my hands.
So they can DM me on my, Facebook or
Mm.
Instagram, and I can probably share the details over there.
Yeah, share the details of
Yeah.
there, and feel free to share the details on my timeline and just tag me as well so people
Sure.
can have a look at it there and be in touch with you. I think it's a fabulous idea. What's your venue? Where are you doing it?
So I'm doing it in Thakur Village, Kandivli
Mm.
East. Yeah.
Okay,
And
brilliant. Go ahead.
so yeah, it's a small center for kids. It's close to my house. So I have planned to do it there. The
Oh,
location is
perfect.
Thakur Village, Kandivli East.
Oh, that's perfect. And if there's
Yeah.
any school teachers watching this, principals, those who are in charge of schools, and you want to host Sonal Sinha, and you want to get a whole load of kids in the classroom for her so she can facilitate these workshops, please be in touch with her, because I feel every child should have access to the kind of work that Sonal Sinha teaches with others, whether it's emotional freedom techniques, where you want to help a child feel more confident in themselves, feel less pressured, less bullied, and more confident to move ahead with what they wish and want in life. Or perhaps as an adult, you want to explore the inner child within you and finally put to bed what happened to you all those years ago. Or I feel, whether you're a teacher or a principal, and, the stress of being a teacher day to day is just too much for you, then, please get in touch with Sonal Sinha and just set it up for her so she can just come in and equip people with emotional wellness as well as something known as energy flow, which is really powerful to regulate the nervous system and anxiety. And they're simple exercises that anyone can do at any time. So Sonal, give us some closing wisdom.
Closing wisdom. Um, Nothing. I think just choose yourself. That's the
So,
only thing. Yeah. Because for me, I've realized the more I've connected with myself, my connection with others, my capacity to do the work, everything has changed because, there was a very deep desire to serve, and I always felt I was not good enough to serve. So I also realized in my journey that I did not know how to receive. And I've learned or still learning the art of receiving in terms of giving and then balancing it out. So yeah, it's all happened because I chose myself. I started working on myself. I know there have been instances where I felt I did shitty things, and I remember I was in a training with you and I was like, I don't think I deserve forgiveness. And you just kept saying, be kind to yourself. And it didn't make sense to me. I said, how can I be kind to myself? But then two, three rounds of tapping, and then I did realize that if I'm not kind to myself, I'll never be kind to others. Unless I give myself that space, I'll never be able to understand or realize that, that they are also struggling with something and that they also need that time and space. So yeah, that's it. I think I'm really enjoying this journey of exploring myself and able to help others because I'm exploring myself more. So yeah.
beautiful. That's really powerful. Thank you so much, Sonal. And again, if any of you want to be in touch, you can find on Instagram and Facebook, Sonal as Sinha. She does a free masterclass called Peaceful Parenting. Watch out for her free EFT masterclass, which we will schedule with her soon. And if you want to learn the skills yourself and receive therapy, then her EFT Fast Track is a really great option for you to pick. So, from all our hearts to all of you, take care. Bye bye. Thank you for joining. Bye.